Hey everybody, I'm back with another junk journal that I've completed, and this was just an old book, no meaning or anything to it. I had picked it up at a thrift store, super cheap, and inspired by Deli Girl, I used the Paper Stacks Timeless Type and the Heirloom collection. Those are both DCWV paper stacks, and I really liked the combination of the two together, so with her inspiration, that's what I used for this. And a lot of printables from Pinterest for tags and tucks, and a good variety of them were from EphemerasGarden, or Ephemera's Vintage Garden, I think is her blog. But she does have a lot of free printables, from her blog as well as on Pinterest. So I covered the front and the back of the book with a piece of the paper that coordinated color-wise with the spine. And this is actually a piece of sticker trim, and it's a little bit glittery, that I had gotten from Michael's. And for the closure, I did punch through for a grommet, and I found these long hair bands in the store 5 and below, so I was super happy to find that. And all I did to attach it, because I know knots can be bulky and I know a lot of people use knots, is I basically threaded it through the grommet and just put it inside itself so that it stays attached to the book. You don't have to worry about losing the band when it comes time to do something in the book. So I'll just do a quick flip through, and like I said, all the papers themselves are from those two stacks. So I did the inside, front and back covers with this paper, which I absolutely loved. All of the actual papers are coffee dyed, and pretty much left the tags and inserts in their natural color just to have that contrast for the most part, but most of the images have that vintage feel to them anyway. So yeah, this page, and this is the corner from a square doily that is coffee dyed with a little tag. This is just a little stamp embellishment, recollections for Michael's. And I actually did do some stamping in this one also. This one says, "Now is the right time." And just a card, paper clipped on there. These hearts I had gotten from Michael's a long time ago. I did coffee dye that also. And it's just a little tuck spot, a little journaling card. Like I said, most of these are from Pinterest and or Ephemera's Vintage Garden. This one I just used a brad, so you've got a little swivel spot if you want to hide a little piece of journaling. This is something I cut out with my Cameo a long time ago, and it still has sticky on it from the mat, but that actually seems to be working because it's holding in the postcard. So I thought about putting some cornstarch or baby powder on the back of it to keep it from sticking, but it's serving a dual purpose and it's easy enough to lift up. It'll eventually lose its sticky. And then to cover the back of the brad, I just used a piece of fabric washi tape. Got a little rubber stamp down here. This map page with little frame. This is from the paper stack. I can't remember which one, but one of the two. And then I just cut out some, printed and cut out some tags and added some silk ribbon. The ribbon I had actually gotten from Wild Orchid Crafts a long time ago, and I just tore strips because it was fairly wide I like that frayed look. Coffee dyed doily is a little tuck spot. You can lift it right behind it, right on it, stamp on it, what have you. Just another little piece, paper clipped, little bird stamp, little pocket and tag, tabs. These are from EVG also, and on the pages where the stitching is in the center of the signatures, I just glued the sides together to make pockets, and there's a tag in there and plenty of room for more goodies. This is a vintage ad that I had scanned from an old magazine from the late 1800s, early 1900s. So I cut that out, did a little vintage photo distress ink on the edges, and made a pocket out of it. And this is just a paper film strip, a little film strip rubber stamp there. Printable with a bunch of little postcards inside. This was from the paper stack, and these were printable tags. Again, with some more of the silk ribbon on them. Another one of the little stamp embellishments. I mean, this thing is loaded with pockets and tags. This was something I picked up with my Cameo a long time ago, and it's a great little tuck spot for those two little tickets. A little rubber stamp there. Another doily Heidi spot. One thing that I really love, some of these papers have the embossing on them, and when I did the coffee dye, this is the back of the paper. I just thought it was so cool how it brought out the embossed areas. There's a little bit on the front side of this also. So that's the first signature. The second one, here's another tab, just a couple things clipped on. This doily is just clipped on, so it can be brought out, written inside, folded back up. Little printable tag there. Rubber stamp, Trust the Magic. Another paper clip card. More stamping. Tag in a pocket. So it was really fun, you know, trying to coordinate things or bring a contrast out and things like that. There's just a little rubber stamp border here. Another clip tag. This one is glued down. This is another one of the pockets. This is a tiny little merchandise paper bag. Mom gave me a stack of these. Thanks again, Mom. We trade crafty stuff here and there. So I had an extra strip of one of the pieces of paper from the, actually from all of the pieces of paper from this stack. So I cut one down, stuck it in the bag, and instead of gluing the bag all the way down, this is actually a tuck spot also. So something can also go behind the bag. Believe stamp. Love, love, love these bee tags. They're so gorgeous. Made a pocket with the doily and folded it over. Get a little contrast going there. A couple more printable tags. Love this stamp. Experience is not what happens to you, it's what you do with what happens to you. Love that. Another pocket and tags. Another doily spot. This was, I can't remember if this was from the collection or a printable. This is another one of the vintage ads that I had that I printed out. A little create stamp. More tags. I did also learn that if you're going to, if you want to do stamping in your signatures, you want to do it before you put the book together. This I learned after the fact. So this one is kind of modeled, but still a little cool. And again, this was an embossed paper where the coffee highlights the embossing on the back. Very cool. Another tuck spot. Tab. It was a little random with where I put the tabs. These are more of the ads. And actually what I did with these ads, when I scanned them in, and I also scanned one of my, actually a couple of my coffee dye papers, and I overlaid them and reduced the opacity in Photoshop so they already have the coffee dyed look, and then just did the edges with the Distress ink. So those tuck in there. Tuck spot. Art is good for you. Yes, it is. Good contrast here between the tag and the page. Tuck spot with a tag. See, I really would have liked for the stamp to be clear, but again, even though I was putting something under the pages while I was stamping, it was still not working out right. So stamp your signatures or stamp your pages before you put the book together. Got the tuck spot and some tags. Again. Another pocket. See, I've been telling myself for years that I was not going to get sucked into Pinterest because it is such a time sucker, but now I'm definitely seeing the value of it because I found so much that I was happy to be able to print and work with. Another doily tuck spot. This I actually cut out what was left from one of the pages. It says beautiful, and I just cut around the blocks, glued it on. I did wrap it around a little bit to give that an edge, and then I've got the tuck spot there. More tags. See, it's fully loaded. This one, this was a piece remaining from one of the papers, so I folded it in half. I did trim it down a little bit, folded it in half, and glued 3 sides so that it's also a pocket, and these are more of my vintage ads. Tuck right in there. So journaling and storage, always good. And again, where the coffee is highlighting the embossing with that Harlequin design. Too cool. Keys. I'm gonna check that out. I could not have done that if I had tried to do it. It's just one of those happy accident things. Very cool effect. This I used one of my dies with my Big Shot. 3 little tags in there. More postcard cards. More postcard cards. Another one of the little stamp embellishments. I really like how these paper collections work together. This one, small pocket to fit these tags, but a tiny little spot to open up and write in if desired. Enjoy the journey stamp. Another one of the awesome bee tags. This one is a large tag, and I decided instead of clipping it that I was going to let it dangle by hanging it on the paper clip. So it holds it in there pretty well. Well, very well. Another tuck spot. This is actually just a piece that I tore out from one of my jelly prints. And the colors worked with it. It had a butterfly in it, had the swirl in there. I was like, okay, well that works with that. So there it is. Chandelier stamp, dragonflies, pocket and card. Another die cut strip and tags, more tags clipped on. And this is one of my favorites. Learn to pause, or nothing worthwhile will catch up to you. Another way of saying take time to stop and smell the roses. And another tuck spot, and this is a tiny little glassine bag, again from Mom. And I did put some of the distress ink on it, and just super tiny printable tags inside. It's probably 6 of them in there. So just some little bits. And the back and the grommet with the band. I'll tell you what, this book was not the easiest thing to punch through. But I did it. So there it is, and I think this is actually going to go down to one of my neighbors who's a very dear friend of mine, and I think she'll be able to make great use of it. And yeah, that's it for now, and not sure what I'm getting myself into next. I do have a couple things that I need to do, and I'll figure it out. Hopefully I will see you soon. Till then, take care. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.